Hey, today we're going to be looking at the Neil Young classic Tell Me Why from After the Gold Rush. I'm going to be showing you no fewer than 4 different ways of playing the signature lick, all the way from the easiest way up to the more challenging way that Neil plays it. If you've watched any of my lessons, you know that I don't like to clutter up YouTube with material that's already been well covered. And even though there are quite a few lessons on this song here on YouTube, they're really all over the map, especially as regards the signature lick. So again, I wanted to clear that mystery up, show you the way that Neil plays it, as well as some ways of getting around it if it's too challenging for you, because it is kind of an unusual lick and a bit of a stretch. It's this one that looks like this right here. So we will get to that. I'm going to show you the chord progression, the strumming pattern, the whole song essentially. So let's start with the chord progression. It's very easy. You've got a C, you've got a D, you've got a minor 7th, which is A minor with the 3rd string open, and then you've got a G. And when we get to the Tell Me Why, you've got the D, you've got that A minor 7, and then C to G, sus 4. That's the way the chord progression goes on the sort of chorus, I guess. And then when you get into it's hard to make arrangements for yourself, we have the only difficult chord of the song, which is this G major 7th, which is a G chord with the F sharp at the 2nd fret, 1st string. Hard to make arrangements with yourself when you're old enough to repay, and then it ends with a B minor to E minor on Young Enough to Sell. And you noticed I didn't play the B minor as a bar chord. Neil doesn't. If you watch him live here on YouTube, he's playing it like this. I think he likes to keep that first finger open to do hammer-ons, because that's what this song is. It's like a hammer-on fest, if you will. All right, so the only thing I didn't mention there was the strumming pattern for the verse. It's kind of like a boom chukka. If you want to practice strumming patterns, it would be like boom chukka, boom chukka, boom chukka, boom chukka, boom chukka, boom chukka, like that. So let's talk about the hammer-ons and the little runs that he does. The first run he does is the opening run, which is a walk up into the C chord. It's very simple. It's G, A, B, C, and then you get right into that note, strum kind of pattern. So C, strum, hammer, C, strum, hammer. You could just practice that if you're a beginner. So we're hitting the C note, then we're hammering on the 2nd fret, E note on the 4th string. The other thing I should mention is Neil is very heavy on the palm muting. He's very emphatic with the right hand, so to speak. I'm exaggerating it there, but that's kind of the feel, right? So after that hammer on to the E note on the 4th string comes the tricky part. So sometimes Neil just hammers on the A note from the open G string to the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. Sound like to the D. So we're going Okay, so that's sort of option one. Or option one would be to do no hammer-on, or do, like I said, to just stick with the hammer-ons on the 4th string. That wouldn't be bad, right? But so that's option 2. Option 3 is if you want to get that dissonance that I'm calling the signature lick, and that dissonance is caused by playing a B note over a C major chord. And you know that the B note is right next to the C note. It's a half step away, right? And that's why there's some dissonance. So it's the major 7 in the key of C. So how can we introduce that B note? Well, the easiest way to do it, going in order of ease to hardness, is to just play that 2nd string open. And that would sound like... Okay, so you're playing the... And then... So 2nd string open. And that's getting there, right? That sounds like the song. So that's option 3-ish, right? And then option 4 is playing the actual B note on the 3rd string, which is at the 4th fret. Now the way Lukas Nelson does it, and you should Google this and watch him, he's finger picking. So he's taking some liberties. He's not playing it exactly the way Neil does, but this is a guy who's jammed with Neil countless times. He's toured with Neil, right? He's seen Neil. He's been in the band when Neil's playing this song. So he should know a little bit about it. He plays it as a slide. So he sort of goes... Cool, right? But you don't have the immediate dissonance, right? You've instead got a unison. You've got, and it's kind of the opposite of dissonance. It's the exact same note twice. So you've got the open 2nd string, and you've got the 4th string, 4th fret 3rd string B note. Kind of cool, but I don't think that's the way Neil plays it so far. Okay, so the final way of playing the signature lick, which is the way I believe Neil played it on the record, and the way he plays it live, sometimes, not in every verse, not in every performance, certainly doesn't play it this way in recent ones, but it's that crazy stretch from 2 to 4 on the 3rd string, the hammer-on from the A note to the B note, while simultaneously holding down the C note on the 1st fret 2nd string. It's very challenging and very unorthodox, at least in my experience. I'm not a bluegrass player. Maybe this is common there. It does sound like, you know, something David Rawlings would do. Because he plays a lot with dissonance too, and that's again what we're talking about here. We're playing a C note with a B note, and they're right next to each other, right? It's the major 7 in the key of C. So the thing that's challenging about this, along with it being a strange stretch and being a hammer-on using your pinky, which is not something we normally do, you also have to quickly change position, right? Because you've just played a hammer-on on the 4th string with that middle finger, and then you've got to quickly move that middle finger to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, while simultaneously getting set up to do that hammer-on, and then making sure that you're only strumming the first 3 strings. If you pick up that D note, then you're just getting another dollop of dissonance. That would be a good album title, Dollop of Dissonance. I mean, it's not terrible. It would be like a C major 7, 9 with a D in there. But I don't recommend it, and that's not what Neil does. He just plays. So So hammer, strum, back down to 2, and then open, and then so that's just C, B, A, and then of course you're on the A minor 7 chord. So you go A, strum, hammer, hammer on the 5th string. This is something a lot of lessons miss. They want you to hammer on the 4th string twice there, but he doesn't, because he's going back to the B. He's going back to the G chord. He hammers on the B note before heading into the G chords. Okay, let's go from the D. Last run is open to open on 5, 4, 3, and then strum a G chords. Okay, then. And when he goes back into it, he doesn't need the G note, he just starts A, B, C. Okay. It's pretty much the whole song. So you, again, your options over the C, or those are basically your options over that signature C lick. Really fun song to play around with. Check out some of the other lessons here on YouTube if you want to get some different flavors, but I believe I covered all the permutations, and I hope you found this helpful. Thanks as always for joining me. See you next time.